1 year ago, I uploaded my first YouTube video. Well, that's not exactly true. I've posted several videos before that, but those are all on different channels and now unlisted, because I wanted to start fresh. And so, in September of 2024, I posted what I now consider my first real video. Within this first year, I posted 8 videos, plus one short, got 300 subscribers and 30,000 views. So let's do a little recap of what exactly happened, where I succeeded, where I failed, and what others might be able to learn from my little journey. My first videos were made back in 2012, consisting of janky pixel animations, poorly edited Minecraft machinimas, and Smash Bros speculation videos that had no voiceover because I hated the sound of my own voice. All of these were posted on my brother's channel, which we shared at the time. This would never work nowadays because he would get sick of all the VTubers clogging up the subscription feed. Speaking of, I made my own VTuber models back in 2021. I streamed for a couple years, eventually moving to Twitch, but ultimately decided that streaming just wasn't for me. That brings us to making actual proper videos. Inspired by storytime animation, zero punctuation, and my favorite video essayists, I've always wanted to make videos where I just talk about random stuff. But I lacked direction and confidence and so never got around to it. Eventually I had the idea to make a video series where I review all the manga I've read, but I wasn't sure if I could say enough about each series to fill a whole video. There was one manga, however, that I felt I had enough to say about, and that was Ida Pochi's The Elder Sister-like one. So I started writing a script. I had the first draft mostly done, but then just kinda abandoned it. I still wanted to make videos, but this didn't feel like a good first video to make. I needed something small, something low stakes that I would still be passionate enough about to finish. And so I had a new idea. What if, as a sort of test run, I made a silly little video about why Ninomiya Inanis is my favorite VTuber. It was the perfect starter project, and it became even more perfect when I realized her anniversary was a little over a month away, giving me a feasible deadline to keep me motivated. And so I made my first video, Why I Love Ina. I didn't really have any experience with recording myself or editing videos, but luckily learning both of these was way easier than I thought. It turns out that I no longer hate the sound of my own voice, which helps a lot. I also quickly got the hang of basic video editing. I went for DaVinci Resolve, by the way, mostly because it's free and thus way ahead of the competition. The hardest part, it turns out, was making a channel intro. I had always had an idea in mind for my intro, just my logo popping up with the little jingle that plays in Pikmin 2 when you open Olimar's notes in the Piclopedia. Problem is, I couldn't find the sound anywhere. I scoured through hundreds of sound files, but it was nowhere to be found. I got so desperate I even made a post on Reddit that was promptly ignored. Eventually I just ripped the audio from a video on YouTube, making sure not to include the background music. I also ended up going with Louis' jingle instead. Now that first video of mine is obviously a bit rough around the edges, but done is better than perfect. And so I posted it on Ina's anniversary, shared it on the fan Discord, and waited to see what would happen. What happened was that it got 200 views in 3 days. Not a bad start for a new guy like myself. I also got tons of nice comments from fellow Takodachi, as well as this one guy telling me to touch grass. So now I had started YouTube. The question was, what kind of channel do I want to be? It'd be nice if I could use my videos to promote my art, so being an art channel would have been one path. The problem is I don't really know how to turn my art into videos. I'm not a tutorial guy, and most art channels seem to focus on traditional art. There's also the alternative of becoming an art commentary channel, but that's not really a group you want to be associated with. And so instead of videos about my art, I decided to go back to my old idea of just making videos where I talk about random stuff. Would you call that a video essay? I know that term has mostly lost its meaning, but it feels weird to refer to what I post as video essays. Anyway, I decided that the next step would be to take my unfinished The Elder Sister-like one script and turn that into my second video. Since it took me about a month to do the Ina video, this one would have been done for the end of October, meaning I could even label it a Halloween special. So I finished the script, recorded the audio, and abandoned it once again. I don't know why, but for some reason when I started editing, the script felt off and I didn't like it anymore. Luckily, a new video idea had taken over my thoughts. Even though I decided to not be an art channel, my art still felt important to my channel's identity. So I wanted to make a sort of introduction video where I go over the history of my art. I even drew this evolution chart of my art style to serve as a thumbnail. It was terrible as a thumbnail and I replaced it later, but I still like the image. It also looks like a transition timeline because I went from drawing mostly dudes to drawing mostly anime girls. This video would come out in November and get a little over 100 views in a week. Not as much as the Ina video, but still impressive considering this time I didn't have a popular VTuber attached to it. After that, I went on break for the holidays. Starting the new year, I knew I had some unfinished business to take care of. The elder sister-like one. I can't just drag this video along forever, I want to actually finish and release it. Surprisingly, when I re-listened to the audio, I liked it again. Sure, it needed a few updates here and there, but most of it was fine, and in the end I had another video I really liked. Unfortunately, it bombed. After a month, it barely had 50 views. This wasn't exactly a surprise to me. It's a video about a hentai with this as the thumbnail. It was kinda doomed from the start. Oh well, so what was up next? Well, in my art style video I mentioned an old comic I made as a kid called Dungle and said that I might do a full video on it. So why not make that video now? This one was a tad more ambitious, being twice as long as my other videos so far and actually featuring background music. I had thought about adding music to the elder sister-like one video, but in the end decided not to because I just wanted the video to be done. But for the Dungle video I went into it with specific tracks in mind for certain segments. I also had ideas for plenty of jokes and bits throughout the video. A lot of love and passion went into this one and it's still my favorite video I've done so far. Which makes it unfortunate that it bombed even harder. To this day it's my least watched video and the only one below 100 views. I think part of it is the thumbnail. It's admittedly a bit weak, but I don't really know how to improve it. At this point I got a little worried about the future of my channel. See, my Ina video had about 240 views, my art style video had 120, the elder sister-like one had around 60, and now the Dungle video was stuck at 30. If this pattern was gonna continue, my next video would only get like 15 views. I needed a big hitter, something I knew would have more success. Luckily I had just the right idea. Shortly after becoming a Hololive fan, I had this idea to draw Hololive members as Warhammer characters. At the time, I didn't feel skilled enough to tackle that yet, but now the idea sounded like a perfect video that would actually show off my art. Character redesign videos are also very popular. Lavender Town has basically built her whole career on them, so I made the first Holohammer video. It got done surprisingly quickly, there's not really a lot of editing to do for this format. That video got 700 views in its first week. Look at how it eclipses all my previous uploads. Now why was this? Was it because I put Gargura in the thumbnail? Was it because I successfully combined two large audiences? Was it because I had posted it during Adepticon without realizing? Who can say? But one thing is clear, and that's that the pattern was now broken. The smart thing to do would have been to immediately make a second Holohammer video and ride that wave of success. But I didn't want to box myself into being a Hololive channel, plus I already had another video idea in my mind. Doom the Dark Ages would release in about 2 months, and I wanted to release a video about my history with the franchise. This was gonna be a big video covering all the games and expansions, plus the modding scene. Sure, it was ambitious, but I had 2 months to work on this and surely no major event would... Okay. I was already planning to eventually make follow-ups on my Ina video where I talk about other VTubers I love, but I was saving those for later. Like I said, I didn't want to box myself into being a Hololive channel. But now, with Mumei's graduation on the horizon, I had no choice but to put the Doom video on hold and make Why I Love Mumei instead. It would be my way to wish her goodbye and to hopefully help me process things. Did it successfully do that? Honestly not sure. Still, I am glad I made that video and more than happy with the result. The only part that annoys me is that I forgot to mention her friendship with Tora. I was also glad that I didn't make that second Holohammer video yet, cause man, that would have been awkward. Like the Ina video, the Mumei video was a success. Then something strange happened. So far, each of my videos had its peak shortly after upload and then views just dropped. But for the Mumei video, views kept coming in. Over the course of 2 weeks, it had reached 1,500 views. And it kept going. Even now it still randomly gets the occasional bump in views. I was blown away by this success. And just like with the Ina video, a lot of humans wrote comments, sharing their love for Mumei and thanking me for making this tribute to her. Thank you everyone, I am glad you liked my little video. Let's hope our precious idol is doing well. There was also this comment. I don't know what to say about it. You know, usually people mistake me for a lumberjack, not a homeless man. After this, I returned to working on the Doom video. I'll be honest, I'm not really satisfied with the Doom video. It's a very compromised vision as I had to cut several parts to get it done on time. Hell, I even thought about scrapping it altogether. But there were certain bits I really wanted to do, so I stuck by it. It still turned out fine, I think, though I probably should have included more actual gameplay. But the thumbnail is one of the coolest things I've drawn, so it was all worth it. Also, it got 800 views, so really I can't complain. I was super worried that going from 2 consecutive Hololive videos to a random Doom video might hurt it, but I guess not. At this point I had built up a somewhat consistent output and was planning to keep that up. There was a pretty big project planned for the start of July that I'll get to later, but in the meantime I had 2 other videos I wanted to make. One would be about Artfight, the yearly art event. The other one would be a video on Yuri to be posted on Yuri Day, which is the 25th of June. Sadly, both of these ended up getting scrapped. The latter due to time constraints, and the former because I just wasn't feeling where the script was going. And unlike the Doom video, I didn't have any fun bits in mind that would push me to still finish it. In the end, I made a short about Artfight instead. And I gotta say, I really liked editing that short. I'd love to do more of them, but unfortunately I just don't really have any ideas for what to do. As for the big project I mentioned earlier, back in 2023, I was approached to participate in Zoo Tycoon, a fan event to celebrate the Zoo Tycoon games. Back then I did a stream where I tried recreating a local zoo. In 2024 I was approached again, but since this was after I stopped streaming and before I started making videos, I declined because I didn't know what to do. The truth is, I did have an idea for what to do, that being an analysis of the original game's animal selection. But I didn't know how to make videos yet. Come Zoo Tycoon 2025, however, I was ready. The Zoo Tycoon video was on the back burner for most of the year. Every now and then I worked on a script, working out how exactly I would approach this analysis. It turned out to be quite lengthy, with a 10-page script compared to my usual script length of 3 or 4 pages. I remember telling my brother about it and he was really skeptical that anybody would watch a half-hour video on Zoo Tycoon. He then went back to watching a 4-hour Hearthstone stream on 2 times speed. Needless to say, I don't think he knows what he's talking about. After a lot of work, the video was done and ready on time. Unlike previous videos, it didn't take a day or 2 for the views to start coming, instead reaching 100 views within a day. It eventually plateaued at 300 views. Not as many as my previous big hits, but still a respectable amount for my standards. A week went by and I thought that's how things were gonna stay. Then it suddenly got 2000 views in one day. What? I don't know what happened, but over the course of its second week, the video had suddenly accumulated 15,000 views. And after a month it sat at 22,000. And it's still going. Remember when I said Holohammer eclipsed every video that came before? Now it is the one being eclipsed. I had reached 100 subscribers the day I posted the Zoo Tycoon video. And now only a week later I was already at 300. Previous videos had gotten some comments, mostly the Ina and Mumei videos, but the Zoo Tycoon video has over 100 comments, and unlike before I actually began replying because they were asking questions and providing additional info, engaging with the discussion I started. Granted, a lot of them are just asking when I'll do Zoo Tycoon 2, even though I say in the video that I'll do that for next year's Zoo Tycoon. Look, I'm thankful for your support, but please stop asking the same question over and over. And so here we are. It was a pretty good first year, I'd say. I was already happy with what I achieved before July, but then the Zoo Tycoon video just blew way past my expectations. Kinda changes the whole video a bit. Now I don't really have any big goals for my channel, other than just hoping that people watch my stuff. Sure, monetization would be nice. Sure, it would be nice to make it big, whatever that means. For now, I'm still a nobody, but as time goes on, I might grow to reach heights I could have never imagined. Posting more videos faster would probably speed up that process, but I like my current pace and plan to keep it. So where do we go from here? Honestly, I'm still slightly overwhelmed by the success of the Zoo Tycoon video and a bit worried it won't translate over to future videos because people now expect me to make more videos about zoo games. but I won't let that stop me. I got other plans in the works. First up is the second Holohammer video. That one should come out later this month. I also got the next VTuber video scheduled for the end of November. Other videos might happen in between, but nothing is certain yet. As for the Way to Zoo was done Zoo Tycoon 2, that one isn't happening until next year's ZooTyCon. But I'm thinking of bridging the gap with one on Wildlife Park. We'll see. I've also been trying to write a review for Doom the Dark Ages, but for some reason I'm just really struggling to put down my thoughts on the game, so no idea if that's gonna happen or not. Now then, what can aspiring YouTubers learn from my first year on YouTube? The most important thing is to just start. Make that first video and post it. It won't be perfect, it might even be awful, but you gotta start somewhere. After that, if you like making videos, you need to keep going. Not for views or fame, but because you enjoy the process. Because as we've seen, views can be an unpredictable thing. A lot of your early videos might bomb, and that's okay. As long as you like the video, the time you spent making it wasn't wasted. That said, there are ways you can influence a video's success. Turns out that posting your video when the topic is currently relevant can go a long way. Stumbling onto a specific video idea that has somehow not been done yet can also help a lot. What you shouldn't do is make videos about a hentai. That's probably a bad idea. Unless you're really passionate about it, then don't let common sense stop you. Finally, don't waste your time watching videos about how to become a YouTuber. Most of these are garbage. They can give you some basic knowledge about how YouTube works, but inevitably they'll tell you to download their browser extension and to use AI. No, seriously, these videos will proudly claim that they'll teach you how to write a good video description and then just say use ChatGPT. Fuck you. And then you look at the comments and it's just a bunch of people going, this is gonna be our year, small channels, rise up, and it just makes me sad. As for videos that are actually helpful, I recommend Super iPadRuth's video on influencer courses, as well as FD Signifier's video on video essays, JHXC64's video on how he tried to prove Ludwig wrong, and David Achu's videos on thumbnails and what it's like to be a small channel. Also this video by Neat on the Rocks. On another note, did you know I have a Patreon? I've never mentioned it before, but you may have noticed the patrons section at the end of my videos. To be honest, I'm pretty terrible at updating it, so I feel bad promoting it, but I figured this might be a good video to do so. Anyway, thanks for watching, like and subscribe, I guess, and see you next time.